Am I reading from your phone too?
Yeah, you'll want them when we get there.
Okay,
I'm gonna
yes, sir.
get this. It's just about the siege.
All right.
Let's see. I don't know. All right. Happy Sabbath, family.
Happy Sabbath.
I'm Brother Al. This is my reader, Brother Rod. We coming to you on behalf of the Vineyard of Israel, Orlando. We thank y'all for joining us this day. Right. We hope you get something from the lesson. The title of the message is A Chronological Timeline of Israel's History. Right. This is important. Get it? Well, anyway, a chronological timeline of Israel's history. No, it really is important because, a lot of events happen in the Bible and throughout history. And, if you don't know the history, because the history definitely solves the mystery, then you could be reading something that has already taken place as if it is yet to come. Right? So it's important for us to understand time in the scriptures because that's one of the main ways we can extract truth. Because we have issues going on today. Most of the people who read you the Bible, they can't differentiate the events or the time, the context of the scriptures, right? So they kind of have us all over the place, right? So the goal of the lesson is to give a brief overview, of Israel's history. Like make a timeline. That was my goal, to make a timeline, like an actual, timeline like they make in school, right? So you will have to do that. I don't have my board with me today, which will make it easier. But people learn by visuals, right? A timeline is a great visual for people to be able to see what's happening, right? So I got a little task once we get going. Another one of my goals for the lesson is to get class participation in the times when the prophets, lived and served their generations, right? Because that's important too. A time when the prophets lived and served their generations, right? And I want you guys to help participate in that as well. Okay? All right, once again, the title is A Chronological Timeline of Israel's History. It's important once again because history will definitely solve the mystery. History will definitely solve the mystery, right? So let's open up Isaiah 46 really quickly because God don't leave things to chance, right? One of the sisters say my foundational scriptures take 45 minutes. So I'll make sure this one take 4 to 5 minutes. All right. yeah. I'm going to prove her wrong today. But anyway, Isaiah 46. Isaiah 46. We're going to do verses 9 and 10. Verses 9 and 10. Because this is just the Most High letting us know that he don't leave things to chance. He's in control. He knows what's going on. He deals with man in man's time. And when he changes man's time to a spiritual type time, he documents it. He lets you know, he give you the understanding that this ain't talking about regular years right here. Right? But right now, we're going to deal with this. Go ahead, Brother Rod. Verse 9.
Remember the former things of old.
Yes.
For I am God.
Yes.
And there is none else.
Uh-huh.
I am God, and there is none like me.
And now he's going to tell us one of the things that makes him God and makes it to where there's none like him. What you mean, God?
Declaring the end from the beginning.
Look at who can do that.
Mm-hmm.
He like, basically, I'm the only one that can do that. Declaring the end from the beginning. Because just think about it. We got a lot of God haters out here, a lot of atheists, a lot of devil worshipers, people that, if they knew the will of God, they would try their best to stop it. Is that the truth? Yeah. So the Lord is like, it's nothing you can do. I'm God. I can tell you things that's going to happen, and there's nothing nobody can do to stop it. And when they come to pass, this is proof that you'll know that I am, right? Go ahead.
And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand.
Look at that.
I will do all my pleasure.
Nobody, once I shoot it out my mouth, no matter what happens, nobody can stop my will from coming to pass. No matter how wicked you are, no matter what position you hold. Like, it's been events in the scriptures where even the kings, which is the highest seat in the land, they couldn't save the people, from wrath. And even they have to bow down in certain instances and be like, the Lord help you. Or if God don't help you, there's no help for you. Right? Think about Nebuchadnezzar with Daniel. Or was that which one was it when he got thrown in the lions then? It was Nebuchadnezzar, right? Or was it Belshazzar? That was Nebuchadnezzar, right? Anyway, Daniel, who was it? It doesn't matter. You know this house. It's the king of Babylon, right? It's the king of Babylon. No, Darius was a Persian. It might have been Darius. I don't know. Anyway, he had the highest seat in the land, right? It was a Persian because they made once the laws of the Persians go into effect, you can't change it. And he wanted to save Daniel from going into the lion's den because he knew his people did it by deceit and trickery. And the law of the Medes and Persians wouldn't allow the king to change, the command. So only thing he could do was weep and pray and hope to God. So he had to tell Daniel, the God that you serve night and day, that God, he'll help you. And, from a carnal aspect, you will be like, well, you the king? You got veto power. You can override and make addendums, right? No. That only God can help you. If God don't help you, it's no help. But that's how God is. Once his will go out, there's nobody can stop it. But kings, men, their stuff can be stopped at certain times. Their plans can be altered, right? But go ahead, Brother Rod. So this is one of the works of God, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasures. So that's how God is. Is that the truth? Well, he did call the end. And the end we're speaking of is the end of Israel's history in their land. Man, as a matter of fact, it's a historical event. Let's read this. Let's go to Matthew 24. As we pick up this, we're going to the internet right quick, encyclopediabritannica.com. And what we're going to read about is, really briefly, the fall of Jerusalem. Why? Because this is the end. This is a historical end to what the scriptures is relaying, right? This is the end where majority of Bible people take this end and then they apply it to the end of the whole world in its entirety. Right. It's an error. It's just not the end it's talking about. But this is the end, along with Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. Mm-hmm. Right? So this is the book of Revelations. Right? This is the siege of Jerusalem. And it's coming out of Encyclopedia Britannica. We're just going to read, starting in... April? Yes, sir.
In April 70 CE, about the time of Passover.
Now, this is the end that Yeshua was telling his apostles about on the mountain. Remember, the apostles said, tell us when the end shall be. What's going to be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world. Right? And then you can see, as we go in Matthew, he starts to explain what he's about to read. Hearken to the scripture. So he said, start back at the top, Brother Rob.
In April 70 CE, about the time of Passover, the Roman general Titus besieged Jerusalem. Since that action coincided with Passover, the Romans allowed pilgrims to enter the city but refused to let them leave.
Look at that. Y'all hear that? Because what the law tell you? It tells everybody to come back to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast. This is a marvelous game plan. It's around the time of Passover. The year is 70 AD, right? After the death. And you got the pilgrims coming back to Jerusalem, and what do you say? The Romans are letting them in. Even though the Romans are there and they've surrounded the city, they're like, come on down, go on in, But Yeshua was warning them against that. Right? And this is the same sad thing about it is we take Yeshua's warning for the people that he's speaking of right here that's going back into the city, and we use it for ourselves. Right. Right, we use it for, but go ahead.
Thus, strategically depleting food and water supply within Jerusalem.
Right. So what's that going to do? It's going to increase population, decrease food and water. Right. So it's like a orchestrated famine. Right. Like in Revelations, you know. But go ahead.
A militant anti-Roman party struggled with other Jewish factions that had emerged.
So you even have other Jewish factions inside the city. The city is in anarchy. Right? It's like civil war. It's Jacob's trouble. Really, it's everything demonic is going on in the city at this time. So you got fighting from the people within, and you got the Roman army circling the city on the outside. So how can the place stand? Right? But go ahead. But Yeshua warned them about this before it took place. Remember what we just read in Isaiah, calling things as if they had already taken place. Yes?
Which weakened the resistance even more. Josephus, a Jew who had commanded rebel forces but then defected to the Roman cause, attempted to negotiate a settlement. But because he was not trusted by the Romans and was despised by the rebels.
You think that's an accident? He may have wanted to negotiate peace. Huh? But how can the Lord let him negotiate peace when I've already called in? Like, no, man, whatever you say, we're not hearing it. It's too nothing. No, it's already, the city has already been set on fire. The judgment is already, it's like John the Baptist said. The axe has already been put to the tree. All right, go ahead.
The talks went nowhere. The Romans encircled the city with a wall to cut off supply to the city completely and thereby drive the Jews to starvation. By August 70 AD, the Romans had breached the final defense and massacred much of the remaining population. They also destroyed the Second Temple, the Western Wall. The only extant trace of the Second Temple remains, a site of prayer and pilgrimage. The loss of the temple for a second time is still mourned by the Jews during the fast.
Look at that. They still celebrating the mourning of the loss of the temple. Well, didn't Yeshua tell them that your city and your sanctuary was going to be destroyed? Let's go to Matthew 24 while we're there. That's the end. So if you're making your timeline, draw you a line and mark it off at the end. Put Jerusalem 70 AD. That's the end. And then once we leave this, we'll go to the beginning, when God started to deal with Abraham. And then we'll fill in the blank. Right?
Yes, sir.
But this is the history of Israel. Right? In the Bible, in the scriptures, it's told to us by Moses and the prophets. But it's events that happen throughout. You ready, Brother Rob? Verse 1, Matthew 24. We're not going to read it all. We're just going to read a few things. 24:1. Hearken.
And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
That's what the history said. The temple was destroyed. But Yeshua was saying it too. It's not going to be left one thing that should not be thrown down. All right, not one stone left upon another. Like, it's over with, right? Go ahead.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
See, hold on, listen. What do they want to know? When is this going to happen? When is this temple going to be thrown down? When is this city going to be destroyed? Why would they want to know that?
Pertains to them.
No, they want to know that for our benefit. Just go ahead and tell the truth, right? They want to know for our benefit. Huh? They want us to know when the end of the world is going to be. Yeah. Because we took it. We ran with it. You know, we ain't checked behind. No kind of critical way. We took what they told us and we ran with it without inspecting it, as if it was the truth, which is how they portray it. But go ahead. I ain't going to get into that.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Look at that, what he's linking the end with.
Thy coming.
Look at what he's linking. Your coming, right? They want to know about his coming. which they linking it to the end of the city and the sanctuary, but they calling it the end of the what?
World.
The world.
Or age.
But that world is not the globe. It don't take no effort to look up what is in context. That world is an age. You know, a specific period of time. The generation that we're in. We want to know because we don't want to get caught in this. Huh? I don't want to be here when that Roman army come.
Yeah.
I heard about what you said, how it was going to be, the carnage and everything in the city. I heard that you said this was going to be a time of great trouble on Jacob. I don't want no parts of it. Yeah. How can I get away? Lord, you let other people get away. You let Lot, Abraham, you let Lot, Noah, you let them get away. You know, it's a lot of people you don't let escape great danger. Fill us in. We are disciples, right? Because guess what? Nobody else is there with them while they talking about this. Right. Tell me when. Tell me when this stuff is going to end. I need to know so I can get out of it. Okay. When is the end? Do y'all know what's going on? No. Okay, that's how it was.
It's an AB.
Yeah, it's an AB conversation. It's up to them to let everybody else know, right? But that's how it is. But we take that conversation and we shoot it to the masses today, 2,000 years later. Yeah. Like it ain't happened yet. And we can see full well that the temple is. But anyway, let's keep going. Where you at, right?
4.
Okay.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I'm Christ.
Look at that.
Deceive many.
I promise you. He's not talking about a Christian religion. Right. He's talking about many actual false Christs. Why? This is covenantally based. Right? Because they're living in a time when the prophets, the scriptures that they believe in told them that the Messiah, the Savior, was supposed to come. Yep. Now we have majority of the people don't believe that Christ is the Savior. They don't believe that he is the Messiah that's sent from God. So they didn't accept him. They refused him. So in the refusal of him, that don't stop them from looking for a Messiah to come. The masses are still looking. So so he warning his people, it's going to be many false prophets, not many false religions. Right? He talked about actual false prophets like Deuteronomy 13. Because he is the true prophet. Right? Hence, this is where the strong delusion come in at. Are you going to listen to the Deuteronomy 18 prophet? That's the one like Moses. Or you going to listen to the Deuteronomy 13 prophet? That's the imitation. And guess what's funny? The Deuteronomy 13 prophet, in order for it to be strong delusion, he got to look like, he got to be from among the Jews. He got to look like John Paul the 15th. Okay. I was just saying. So he got to look like Peter, Yeshua, right? He got to look like John, right? Is that the truth? How else are you going to deceive me? If Fabio walk in, like I'm just saying, I'm not going to be deceived. You understand? Fabio. Yeah, he started, thus saith the Lord. Nah, that's not going to deceive me. He probably might get stoned. Right? I'm just saying, like it's rough in the Jewish religion, right? You don't even look like a Pharisee. How you gonna deceive us? Yeah. But if you look like them, you talk like them. You know, Christ did many miracles. What's one of the characteristics of the false prophet? Miracles. Gonna do miracles. But what if his miracles don't come to pass? And you know he falls. See, but at that point, it could be too late. But it got to be that strong delusion. That's a man of sin. That's one that's going to sit in the temple of God. Why the temple is still erected. Right? But anyway, I'm getting off. I need to hurry up and get out of here. Go ahead, Brother Rod. The caffeine kicking in a little bit now. Yeah.
And he shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Look, that's going to be all throughout their land. Romans came from the north, destroying many cities in Jerusalem. In Israel before they got to Jerusalem. Right? But go ahead.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Yes.
But the end is not yet.
You see that? Now, what end is he talking about?
Their age.
The end of their age, their city and their sanctuary all in one. Right? The end that we read about in the historical account. The end that Josephus wrote about, that he witnessed. Right? It's just, this end has been portrayed to us as the end of the world. Because it says the word world in verse 3. But world means it's time. It's an age. It's not the universe. It's not the globe. It's not the land. Right, where you at, Rod?
7.
Let's drop down to 13.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Now he was telling them all of these things that was gonna befall them, earthquakes and famines, and many gonna hate you for my name's sake, and brother and mother gonna turn on you, false prophets, you got to deal with that. And he said, and if you just so happen to endure to the end, you could be saved. Right? Go ahead.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
So I got a question. Was the gospel about laws, statutes, and commandments not preached into all of the world? If not, how did they know to come back to Jerusalem from all over the world to get the Passover? It was there. It was everywhere. But guess what wasn't everywhere? The death, the burial, the resurrection, Yeshua being the Lamb of God, that was not widely known. Even in Jerusalem. Remember in Acts, that they was beating the apostle for preaching in the name of Yeshua.
Yeah.
And they told the people, they trying to bring this man blood on us. Huh? They said, you don't feel the streets with your gospel. They said, y'all don't feel all Jerusalem with your doctrine. And what was their doctrine? They was talking about the death, burial, resurrection of Yeshua, the kingdom of God to come. Right? That's what they was talking about. It's just nowadays. Go ahead.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains.
Look, you ain't got a guess. We don't even have that many cities over here in the U.S. named Judea. He said the ones that be in Judea, you stay in Alabama. You stay in Florida. You stay in California. And in those three places, I can't even think of many places, cities, villages, towns, hoods, called Judea. But he said, if you in Judea, flee to the mountain. He's talking to them because that's where the destruction is coming to. That place is what's coming to an end. But go ahead and flee from where you at. Go ahead.
Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
It's urgent. Because once that army get intact, and there ain't no escaping it after a certain point. Yes?
18. Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
It's cool. That's good. All of this chapter is talking about the end of the city and the sanctuary. All of it. Even when he get down to verse 27. Go ahead. Let's get you jump down there. Jump there. Because he ain't switching topics. No, he ain't. I'm not trying to see. I'm not switching time. I'm not jumping future and back to the past. I'm not doing none of that. It's all one contextual teaching. Right. Go ahead. Verse 29. This is 29. The 21. Verse 21. 21 first.
But then shall be great tribulation.
When?
Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
You see that? That's why he wanted them to flee. That's what the urgency is on the escape, is because it's gonna be great tribulation.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen no tribulation like this. That's what he telling them. And he said, such as was not, nor shall ever be again. Just how bad it is, yes?
Do I skip it or?
No, 22 right quick. This is how bad it is.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
That's right. Contextual to what's going on in that city and during the time of that tribulation. This tribulation is so bad, it'll wipe out everything living in the city. Unless I shorten it. Now, if I don't shorten it, everything gonna die. Right? But go ahead.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
You see that? Only reason I'm shortening, see, y'all that didn't come under the blood, you really deserve this murk job. Because the scriptures already told you, if you don't listen to this prophet, it's going to be required of you, your soul.
Yeah.
Only reason I'm shortening this carnage is for my elect's sake. And guess what happened? Some of the other ones, they benefited them in a way. Because instead of getting killed, they got carted off into slavery. Yeah, I mean, they didn't die, right? It wasn't much better of an alternative, but at least you didn't die. So you had a little benefit too. I mean, you still gonna go into slavery, but at least your life was spared. You know what that'll do? That might open your eyes. Maybe I need to see what this Yeshua junk is all about. But for my elect, I gotta look out for them. I'm gonna shorten the days. Go ahead. 27, 29, 29.
All right. Immediately after the tribulation of those days,
Look at that.
shall the sun be dark, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven.
Look, Yeshua is a prophet. Go back in the Old Testament. Every time the prophet spoke about God judging the nation and another nation coming upon it to destroy it, it's the same language. Isaiah said the Lord came into Egypt on a cloud and destroyed it. Ezekiel said the Lord put out the sun and the moon.
Isaiah 13.
And they were talking about in the days of Nebuchadnezzar. Joel said the same thing. Yes, you know why they said it like that? These prophets are serving their generation. Yeshua is the prophet of this generation. He got to let them know what's coming upon his generation. Isn't it? Yeah, it's over with. Why else would Yeshua come on the scene if it ain't over with? Most High gonna leave room for somebody to do a better job than Yeshua? Yeshua is supposed to come on the scene at the time of the end. So is John the Baptist. John the Baptist is supposed to come before the day of the Lord. Now, John the Baptist came 2,000 years too early. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You way too early, John. You done came and died. We ain't even get to hear you. You supposed to talk to us. What's happening? Because John the Baptist is a sign that the judgment of God, the day of God, is near. We missed it. John the Baptist been gone.
He was a prophet up front.
How do we reconcile stuff like this? You know what we do when people understand? They skip over. They don't want to hear it no more. They talk it away. Or, you know, they say, well, what about this? Right. Like what I just told you wasn't valid. You know what I'm saying? No, we got to get it all. We make it all fit without contradicting. That's truth. We ain't finna let one thing contradict another. No, that's not truth. It's a problem in understanding somewhere. And when you can put it together and it don't contradict, that's truth. So John the Baptist was a little bit too early, according to Malachi. Malachi said he was going to come before the day of the Lord, did he? In fact, he said, this is how you know the day of the Lord is getting close.
Must be that wild honey.
So you know what you got to do to reconcile stuff like that? See, they talking about in the Lord's time. Huh? What you mean? Like a day is like 1,000 years to the Lord. But yeah, not to man, though. 1,000 years is 1,000 years to man. We only got a generation. My lifetime is a generation. That's why I need you to talk to me in that. Right? I can't, like, this floaty time stuff, I don't know what to do with that. Then I got to make excuses for God. Because you know what? People going to come through, they understand it, and they going to prove you, they going to call you out on it. And now you in a position where you making excuses for God. They say Jesus lied. They say, people understand, say he ain't come back, he lied. He can't be the prophet. He can't be the son of God. He lied. And you know what you do because you don't understand it? You agree. You're not going to say them words that they say, but the way you understand the teaching is you agree. We in bad shape. No, that's not a prophetical time. Where you at, brother? I'm for quit talking.
31.
We should have been out this. Yes, 31.
I'm sorry, I could finish 30.
30, yes.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Who is they? I'm just asking. Because you know who's going to see him? In Acts, the first chapter, the man said, you who saw him leave, going to see him come back.
Yep.
This same thing Yeshua was saying.
Some of you might be alive.
Y'all going to see. He said he told his apostles, some of y'all going to be alive when I come back. No man can live 1,000 years. There it is. Huh? What's going on? If that's the case, he ain't came back yet. We got some 2,000-year-olds apostles. We don't know who they are. I might be one of them. I'm just saying. I mean, well, where they at then? How can they be quiet this long? Huh? Tupac can't stand, anyway, let's keep going, Brother Rod.
31?
Yes.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Look at this. He's trying to tell them how they are going to encounter these things in their lifetime. And all of this is speech that the prophets used when God was getting ready to judge a nation. The only difference is the nation that he's judging now is Jerusalem. He judged them for them turning their back on the Lord. He judging them for them not accepting the atonement. He judging them for not accepting the king. They became his enemies. And he took his elect from among them, and the rest of them wiped them out.
Let the blood be in our children.
Right. They turned their back, like he said. They said, let Christ's blood be on us and our children. We want Barabbas. Don't say he was king of Jews. Say he said that. They didn't accept that. But this is the end that all of the prophecies point to. Isaiah, he's 700 and something years before this point where we at. That's a long time. So why wouldn't he speak prophetically? Even his prophecy would have a time to come to pass. No end, right? But that's good. Remember the fig tree. Yeshua told him about the fig tree so he can let them know how soon these things are, how close on the horizon they are, not how far away they are. Right? We just misunderstood, y'all. At the end of the day, we learned what we could when we can, but it's always time to grow in the Bible. Right? It's always an opportunity to grow. Right? And that's what the Lord has provided. Some want it, some don't. Just like right here. Who wouldn't want to hear this warning? You'd be surprised. A lot of them. Right? So that's the end. Let's go to the beginning. That's 70 AD. 40 years after Christ had died and resurrected. 40 years is a generation, ain't it? So that's like almost 2,000 years before us. So now let's back up to some BC time. let's go to let's just start with Abraham really briefly. Genesis 12. We'll just do 12. Because Abraham was the first one mentioned as being a Hebrew, right? So they say Abraham, if you writing on your timeline, let's just put the beginning. I'm going to give you a gap. The goal is not to give you the exact times right now. It's just to give you a ballpark figure, a range. Right? So let's do Abraham. They say I'm going to give you a 300-year range from 2100 BC to 1800 BC. So that's the time when God come to visit them, right? I think it's more so 19 or 18 something, but BC, the time start high and they start to descend, right? It's confusing for a lot of people. So we at like 2100, 2000, we like 2000 BC, right before Christ.
2000 BC.
Right, so this is before what we just read about, approximately 2,000 years. So the history of Israel is probably about 2,000, 2,200 years, something like that, right? So we're going to the beginning, verse 1.
Now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred.
Because he's from the Ur of the Chaldees. Because he's from Ur of the Chaldees, right? I need you to get up out of there, all right? Come on.
Unto a land that I will show thee.
Yes.
And I will make of thee a great nation.
You see that?
And I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee.
You see that?
And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
You see that? In you, Abraham, all the families of the earth are going to be blessed.
So Abram departed.
Let's drop down to verse 7.
And the Lord appeared.
So he went into the land of Canaan. And what happened?
Unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land, and there build he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel,
right,
and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east.
Right. What do Bethel mean? House of God.
House of God, yeah.
Right. So the Lord appeared unto Abraham, and told him to go to the land of Canaan, and he said, "I'm gonna give this land into thy seed." Now, did he do that? He did that, right? He just took him a space of a few hundred years to do so, right? Because at this time, Abraham have no seeds. But he said, I'm going to make of you a great nation, right? This is what he was promising them, right? There is no Israelites right now. Right. The man is a Chaldean. The man is from Syria. So the Lord is letting him know what's going to happen. And he said, I will make, verse 2 says, I will make of you a great nation. Don't that sound like Yeshua? Yep. It was one point in the wilderness when the Lord told that to Moses. Listen, Moses, stand aside. I'm finna light them all up. I'll take you and make a great nation. Yep. His point, he always wanted all righteousness. So it's a point when that weakness is going to come to an end. That's what happened with Yeshua. He made everybody was supposed to be made in Yeshua's image from that point on. Righteousness. But he said, I'm going to make a great nation out of you, right? Let's go to the 14th chapter. I'm just going to skim a little bit. So we at about 2000 BC, 1800 BC, whatever. You know, it's close. Let's see what he called Abraham at this point. Verse 13. Go ahead.
And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite brother of Eshcol, right, the brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abram.
Right. You see that? You don't even have his name, Abraham, yet. But this is the first place where we can see him being spoken of as a what? A Hebrew. Right? chapter 15. So Abraham is the father of the Hebrew Israelites, right? There 15?
Oh, verse 15, I'm sorry.
No, chapter 15.
Okay.
Let's keep going down the line.
Verse 1?
Yes.
After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
Mm-hmm.
And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus?
So why is the child a big thing to him?
Because he promised I thy seed.
Right, because he got to leave an inheritance. He want to leave to his inheritance to somebody in his lineage, don't he? The only thing he have is a servant. You know, a servant done pleased him to the point where he can be considered, but at the same time, that wouldn't be his desire. All right, but the Lord is like what? Go ahead.
And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir.
Look at that. He don't have nobody at his own bowels. Remember the Lord said I could tell you things from ancient times and have them come to pass, but I can say it as if they already were. And nobody can stop me. You're like, no, that ain't gonna be your heir. I'm gonna give you one that come from your own bowels, right? And verse 7.
And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit.
Do that phrase sound familiar? What does it sound like? What is it similar to? Yeah, I'm the Lord thy God that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Same thing, right? Go ahead. Says Abraham first, yes?
And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it?
Like how am I gonna know? Right? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, Take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon.
Right.
And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst.
So I don't want all that. He making a covenant with Abraham. Verse 12. Right, let him know he's gonna keep his word. I'm promising you. Right, covenant of promise. Right. Verse 12. Yes.
And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Imagine him telling the man this while he have no children, no physical children. You see that? Now, how long did he say he gonna?
400.
400 years.
400.
Right. So on our timeline, we can get approximately 430 years later, and we'll have another, event. Right. In the process, at that time, we have this promise coming to pass with between Abraham and the Lord, by the Lord increasing Abraham, right, adding, children to him. But go ahead.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
This is key, because remember what we spoke about earlier. If you don't know the time frame or the context of the time in the scripture, people will take things that have already come to pass and they'll use them for today. And if you use them for today and they don't come to pass, and then what? You can stop people from believing. You just made the Lord a lie. You just really made the Lord say something he really didn't even say, because of not being able to understand the time. We had this over and over again. This is one of the first places. People are still talking about 2019, 2022. The Lord is going to come free Israel from 400 years of captivity, with no biblical reference point to start the count. How we know when to start the count? We'll see in 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. There's nobody say that stuff ain't biblical to count. When the Lord say start counting here, the reference point is Abraham. He's like a marker, a time. He's a mile marker. 400 years from Abraham. Not from. I ain't gonna say it. Come on, Brother Rock. Not from Birmingham. But anyway, keep going.
15.
Yep.
Thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace.
I count Birmingham.
Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
Look at that. You see how he making Abraham a reference? You should go to your fathers in peace. I already told you what's going to happen to your seed, right? This is what's going to happen after you, yes?
But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again. For
Yeah.
the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
Another reference point. Where the Amorites at? Their iniquity still should be going on in the land. Because they ball blocking Israel from getting into the land. I'm just saying. Like you know what, brother? We gonna see. Look at it. Modern day Amorites is the Germans. I'm just throwing names out there because it don't make no sense. It make no difference, right? Because it's not biblical. Nobody told you the modern day nothing. You are removing the prophecy from its original context. You gonna mess it up. And then when it don't happen, some people can stop believing. Their faith already weak and watery. It's already small. It's already hard to believe God in these times. So we don't need help turning the faith. Now we need help in building it up. You making prophecies that don't come to pass. Hey, biblically, you're a false prophet. That's by biblical definition. Right. Well, you know people ain't gonna call them out and say nothing about it. We just gonna let you keep preaching and teaching until you make another prophecy. It's bad business. But if we let the scriptures say what they say, we can see it happening. And when you see it happening, you can see, oh, the Lord do keep his word. Go ahead, Brother Rod.
17. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land.
Mark that. We're going to see that come to pass. We're going to see it happen. Right? He said the fourth generation. Let's go 4 generations. Exodus, the 12th chapter. Exodus 12. I'll get through what I can today. Exodus 12. Exodus 12, you there, Brother Rod? Let's pick it up at verse 37. We got the children of Israel about to leave Egypt, right? So from Abraham having no seed to his seed started to multiply, right? Started with Ishmael, right? Then Isaac, Jacob, right? And then we get to the 12 tribes, right? Then they start to have children. So his seed starting to multiply like the sand of the sea, like the Lord told them. So over the space of 430 years, right? His seed started to multiply. Now, some of those things that that the Lord told Abraham should start coming to pass. So we was at approximately 1800 BC with Abraham, right? Abraham has died, moved on your timeline, go forward 430 years. Make you another marker. The event we finna have now is the Exodus. So we probably around 1500 to 1400 BC. So we're making our way down the line. 1400 and something. Like some say 1446. We can use that. That's cool. But listen, let's go ahead.
37?
Yes, let's see what happened.
And the children of Israel sojourned from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, and even very much cattle.
So did they have goods? Verse 35. Because remember, the Lord told Abraham they're going to spoil that nation, right? Yes.
And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Now that borrowed is more like spoiled.
Yeah, 36.
Because it was a war. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the Lord gave people favor in the sight of Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such thing as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
Right, verse 39. So we see Israel started to come out of Egypt. Yes.
And they baked unleavened cakes.
Hold on for a minute. Why do they got to come out of Egypt? Why can't the Lord just knock down Pharaoh and elevate Israel where they at?
You got the promised land.
Promised land. Promised by who? The promise that he made to Abraham.
Yeah.
Right? Not Abraham Lincoln. But go ahead.
And they baked unleavened cakes of dough which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry.
Yes.
Neither had they prepared for themselves any victual.
Yes.
Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
You see that? What is the reference point? The reference point is Abraham. Because go get the Septuagint. It'll tell you they wasn't in Egypt all 400 years. But from the land of Canaan, sojourning there to the land of Egypt, it was 430 years combined. Where they were strangers in other people's land. The land wasn't theirs yet. They still haven't inherited the land, remember? They still got a time from here then before they inherit the land, don't they?
Yeah.
So once they come out of Egypt, they got what? Another 40 years.
Yeah. The wilderness.
He that survived to the end in that 40 years, that's the one that's gonna make that's the one shall be saved. That's the one gonna go to the promised land, right? But go ahead.
41.
Yes.
And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years.
You see that?
Even the self same day it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
You see that? What he's saying is exactly 430 years, even up until the self same day. What day are they coming out on? 430 years earlier was what? Food for thought. Because this is exactly 430 years. And if you go back, you can see Abraham getting his slaughter on. You can see Abraham linking up with Melchizedek. You can see Abraham getting a little bit of bread and wine. But anyway, let's keep going.
42, sir?
Yes. What does it say?
It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt.
Yeah.
This is the night of the Lord to be observed for all the children of Israel in their generations.
You see that? For who?
Their children in their generation.
Their generation, right? And the Lord said, teach a generation on generation. Right, so the Lord kept them in the wilderness 40 more years. And let's go to Joshua 21. This is basically like 40, 50 years later. So where we at in Exodus is around 1500 to 1400 BC. So we count down. All right.
21.
21, yes, sir. Joshua 21. Because Joshua is the one that took over after Moses. He's the one that actually ended up leading the children of Israel to inherit the promised land, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every tribe got some land.
Right.
According to the covenant, right? But look, let's just start at verse 42. Yes.
These cities were every one with their suburbs round about them. Thus were all these cities.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord gave unto Israel all the land which he swore to give unto their fathers.
Hold on. Who was the father of Israel?
Abraham.
Who did he swear to give the land to?
Abraham.
He swore to Abraham he was going to give it to their seed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the Lord saying here? What I told Abraham is coming to pass. It's coming to fruition. And you are the beneficiaries thereof, right? They're the beneficiaries of that. Right? And then also the seed is like the sand of the sea at this point. It's growing. Yes?
And they possessed it and dwelt therein. And
Promise kept. In the fourth generation, 400 some years. Right? If we go to other scriptures, it'll tell you that the Amorites are gone. Or at least minimalized. Right? All the things that he told them in Genesis 15 is coming to pass. Yes.
And the Lord gave them rest round about, according to all that he swore unto their fathers.
Yes.
And there stood not a man of all their enemies before them.
You look at that.
The Lord delivered all their enemies unto their hand.
Good.
There fell not aught of any good thing which the Lord had had spoken unto the house of Israel.
You see that? Hold
all
on
came
for a
to
minute.
pass.
Some of that didn't happen. What did he say, Brother Rob? Word of 5.
There fell not aught of any good thing which the Lord had spoken unto the house of Israel.
You see that?
All
Lord,
came to pass.
all of it came to pass. The Lord made good on his word. Now, so they entered the promised land, the kingdom of God on earth. But they entered this land. You can't stay here regardless of what you do. This is conditional. I kept my promise. I let you get in. I let you inherit it. Right? I told you, don't do like the nations that was in the land before you, because if you do, it'll spew you out. I gave you a covenant that let you know these things. I gave you a covenant that let you know how to act in this land. I gave you a covenant that tell you what days I want you to rest on and make sure you pay homage to me. I gave you a covenant that tell you if you get spread out throughout the world to come back here. This land is pivotal. This is the inheritance. Come back here. This is where I put my name at. Come back here and celebrate these days. So now we at the point, when they went into the land, the Lord was reigning over them. But they couldn't see that. So the Lord didn't give them a physical kingdom when they went into the land, or did he?
He gave them the kingdom.
Let's see what they had at first. Let's go to, we got to pick this up in the New Testament right quick. I think it's Acts the 7th chapter. Judges 13, Acts 13, excuse me. Acts 13. His handwriting hurt my eyes. Get that lacy. Acts 13. Acts 13. Pick up at verse 20. Acts 13, verse 20. Go ahead, Brother Rob.
And after that, he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years until Samuel the prophet.
You see that? When they got into the promised land,
Gave them judges.
he gave them judges. You know, why wouldn't God set it up to rule the way he always wanted it to be in the beginning, from the jump? He would. If he wanted to reign in Jerusalem physically, he would have been there. Straight up. If he wanted them to have a physical king like everybody, like Pharaoh and all the rest of them kings, he would have gave it to him right then. But God is trying to show the people how he rules. He's trying to show the people how to walk by faith, not just what you can see. They had judges for how long, you say, Brother Rob?
450 years.
So now,
Samuel the prophet.
So now we're still going down the line, right? So you can write another marker, and you can put Israel got into the land, and they had judges for around 480 years. This would take us to approximately 1100 BC, right? We're walking it down. Until who? Samuel?
The prophet.
Yeah, let's go to Samuel. 1 Samuel, matter of fact, chapter 8.
1 Samuel 8?
Yes, sir. 1 Samuel 8, because it's a big event that happened.
Give us a king.
1 Samuel 8. Pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead, brother.
And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel.
You see, he made his sons what?
Judges.
Yeah, why didn't get one king? That's the way the Lord set it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we had basically that 400 at the end of the period of the judges, right? Now we got Samuel. He made his sons judges in his stead, yes?
And the name of the second was Abiah.
Mm-hmm.
They were judges in Beersheba. and his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment.
Yes, the Lord he really hates that, right? Where you at? Go ahead.
4.
Yes.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But
You
the
see
king,
Why the Lord just didn't do that off the rip? Huh? That ain't what he wanted, is it? So, look at what he said. Do you know how the Lord set this up? He set it up like how it was in the wilderness. When Moses was basically sitting on the throne, Moses got an answer to the Lord, and he gave them elders over the tribes to judge the people. And Moses say, look, don't bring every little bitty problem to me. You hear me?
Yeah.
Bring me the things y'all can't handle. Y'all judge between and try to keep the order, and the things you can't handle, bring it up higher. Right? So Moses was the judge, or the judges, pretty much, or the king, and then everybody else judges. Now, over Moses is who? The Most High. So the Most High had a hierarchy. So when he got into the land, he did it the same way. Right? But this time, instead of it being Moses as the king, it was a king in charge that the people couldn't see. Nevertheless, he still was there. His presence still was there. But because they couldn't see him, it's hard to accept. So they're at the point like, man, we got these judges, but we need a king like everybody else. So we need, one central authority figure. All right, come on.
6. But the thing displeased Samuel.
Why?
When they said, Give us a king to judge us.
Because Samuel understood something, right? That the people didn't understand. Because they're not displeased. They're pleased to offer this as a suggestion or a solution. Samuel like, this ain't a good idea. You really don't know what you're asking, but watch what Samuel understood that they didn't, yes?
And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but have rejected me, that I should not reign over them.
You see that? He already was reigning over them, wasn't he? Why didn't the people accept it? They couldn't see him.
Physical. Though.
Yeah.
Physical, not spiritual.
So, but this is the way he want to reign. Right? You know why? He said, heaven is my throne. You say the earth is my footstool. Like, it's beautiful up here. Like, I mean, it was beautiful down there till y'all got down there, right? But this home, heaven is my throne. Heaven is my home. This is where I live. Huh? He said, I dwell in a secret place with the high and the lofty one. We steady trying to drag him down to earth. Come on down here with us, Lord. We grabbing his feet. But he like, man, this is how I rule. I see everything that's going on. Go ahead.
According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods.
Look, you think he didn't see that? How can he, and they're running back to him if he didn't see it? But he give the people free will. But with free will, it's a reward for the work of our hands regardless. He's always been like that. Adam and Eve, Noah, everybody got free will. All the people that drowned, they had free will. All the Israelites that get destroyed, they got free will. But this is what they choose to do. Right? Go ahead.
So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
Show them what type of king they gonna have.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked him for a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself and for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers.
Does this sound like a good king?
Same thing.
Everybody just became servant to the king. Oh, that's yours? I think the king should have that.
The best.
But what is he giving them? Just what they asked for, a king like all the nations. Because this is what the kings of all of the nations do. They take from the people, take from the people, and take from the people. And they use it to benefit themselves. Why? So that they can get a name. So that they can get a name, a reputation, an everlasting name, an inheritance. A king name and fame go extends most of the time by how he dominated in war, don't it? How many different places he take? That's why he's telling them that they're gonna take from your sons and make them, ride chariots and make an army out of them. He's gonna take your daughters and make them confectionaries and cooks and bakers. They could be baking you biscuits. I'm just saying. Now they baking for the king. He taking the best of yours, and using it for himself. People should be like, this might not be. Let's just try this judge thing a little bit longer. But no. Go ahead, Brother Rod.
And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them.
Remember Ahab?
Yeah, he wanted a vineyard.
Yeah, he wanted Yeah, he wanted Naboth's vineyard. Yeah, because it was close by the palace. And he said, Lord, prevent me from giving you this my father's inheritance.
Yeah.
But did they stop? No. So you got to do wickedness in order to attain a vineyard. But he said he already let them know these things were going to happen. Go ahead.
And he will take your manservants and your maidservants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take 1/10 of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you.
You see that? They missed that part, didn't they? Your king gonna cause you to cry out. This is what the Lord was talking about. He told them, don't return the people back to Egypt. In Egypt, the people cried out to the Lord, and the Lord saved them. But if it happened here, he's not gonna save them. Why? Because this is what you desired. You didn't want me king and reigning over you. This is what you want, so this is what you get. So don't cry out now. Let your king save you. But your king is gonna take from you and use it for himself, his own profit. But go ahead. He said, you're going to cry out, but go ahead.
And the Lord will not hear you that day. Yeah. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all nations.
Is that just rebellion or what? It's just stubbornness? Yeah, we want to just be like everybody else. Go ahead.
That ain't what the Lord king wanted. May judge us and go out before us and fight our battles.
Right, lead us out, yep.
And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the man of Israel, go ye every man unto his city.
Okay, so now we get down to the first king of Israel, which is who? Saul.
Saul, yeah.
Saul. So now we at approximately 1000 and 1100 BC. All right, so one thing to remember about this time is all of the tribes are united. Correct. Right? All of the tribes are united, and they're going to be united under Saul, right, for 40 years. They're going to be united under David for 40 years, and they're going to be united under Solomon for 40 years, right? So let's go and take a look at Solomon's reign. I want to give one scripture. This is where am I at? 1 Kings 6. Now the year we at, they saying it's about approximately 967 BC. First Kings, chapter 6, verse 1. What you got?
And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt.
So is it that what happened during that time? During that space of those years? They come out of Egypt, they had judges.
Yep.
Right after that, we get Saul, we get David, and now we in the third the reign of the third king, which is Solomon. And the kingdom are united. So he said that covered a space of about 480 years.
In the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Sif, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of the Lord.
So people take this time, they say it's around 967 BC, right? And they add that 480 years. And you get about 1446, 47 BC. So that'll take you back to the time when Israel was in Egypt. Right, so that's one way they add that time, right? So that's why it's important to know the history. We know now that when they came out of Egypt, they had judges in the land for the space of about 400 and some years. Then they get the reign of the three kings, right? And the tribes are united. Now let's go to the 11th chapter of First Kings, and we're about to have another event. So we still, where is Isaiah at?
Yeah.
Where's Isaiah at?
Not even born yet.
What about Jeremiah, Micah?
Nope.
Huh? So they wouldn't prophesy about nothing that happened to this point where we at?
Nope.
Why?
They're not even born yet.
And not born, so they do serve their generation then. Huh? Oh, okay. You see how they do serve their generation. So the things they talk about, there have to be some things going on around them that make their prophecy relevant. So when we read in Jeremiah, in Isaiah, and Ezekiel, that's important for us to know. Ezekiel. Where you at, Ezekiel? Zeke. I'm just saying, Jeremiah. Man, I think I saw Micah walking down the street. He looked like he had that long beard, I think it was. He had that name tag. What am I saying by saying that? They ain't serving our generation. That's what I'm saying. And my name ain't Zeke. Zachariah. Let me see if they're going to come in, Throw it past them, boy. Anyway.
11?
Yeah. See, that's why nobody can't take you serious, Brother Al. You're playing too much. They weren't taking me serious anyway when I wasn't playing. So you still going to get this work. Don't try to weasel out by saying that, right? No. You still going to get this. Where you at, Brother Rob?
You haven't told me.
First Kings 11. Pick it up at 1.
All right.
Go ahead.
But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
This Solomon had a world on lock.
Yeah.
Well, how do we know?
Because all the nations came to him.
All the nations came to him.
Yeah.
So like all the nations, their nation would be like paying homage to Solomon's city, like Jerusalem.
Paying tribute, yeah.
Yeah, because they bring tribute, right? Point is, whoever the people bring tribute to the king. Whatever city the king is, and the people are bringing tribute, that city rules over all of the nation. They brought Solomon 666 talents of gold. By the way, they said they had silver in Jerusalem like rocks. The people come from all over the world paying homage. Why? Because Jerusalem is the city that reigns over the kings of the earth. That's how they work. How do it rain? Because they got the covenant with God. Now we got all the other cities coming back to Jerusalem, paying homage, bringing tribute, showing that this city is above. Because the less, right, the city or the people that's in the less position, they come in to bless when they bring their gifts, the greater. Like when Abraham went to Melchizedek. Melchizedek is the greater, Abraham is the lesser, but the lesser blessing the greater, right? That's how it go. That's important because when we get to Revelation 18, when we're reading about Babylon and how it reigned over the city, that reigned over the kings of the earth. Right? That's the reason God made the covenant, told the people to come back. You get it? Come back to this city. This is the supreme thing. Matter of fact, when you go off, turn and face this city and pray. You hear me? Then I can hear you. This the city that reign over all of the nation. But people don't understand that because they want to give it to Rome. But anyway, let's keep going.
Verse 2.
Yes.
Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
See, that's the problem, isn't it? And we ain't gonna read how Solomon get down. We know what it is. We're gonna drop down to verse 4.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Everybody knows Solomon was a clown. But go ahead. Yeah.
For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God.
Yeah.
As was the heart of David his father. For Solomon after Ashtaroth, the god of the Zidonians.
Yes.
And after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father.
Solomon made the people return back to Egypt. If we don't know, Solomon got real oppressive on them. But anyway, he did evil. The Lord tried to correct him, and he will have none of it. Go ahead.
Then did Solomon build a high place for Shemoth,
the
abomination of Moab.
Solomon done went crazy, didn't he? Lost all his marble. He gone. I don't know how he gonna come back from this, but go ahead.
In the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molag, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all the strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods.
Go ahead.
And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice.
He loves Solomon. Yes.
And had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded.
Verse 12, let's drop down a little bit. Yes.
Notwithstanding, in thy days, I will not do it for David thy father's sake.
He said he gonna rend the kingdom from Solomon, and he gonna give it to Solomon's servant. But he's like, I ain't gonna do it in your day, only because of your father. This will break his heart. Right? But go ahead.
But I will rend it out of the hand of thy son.
But your son, seeing what is what you did,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the kingdom from him. Yes.
Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom.
Look at that.
But will give one tribe to to thy son for David my servant's sake.
You see that?
For Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
That's the only way the kingdom gonna be able to stand. I'm gonna let him have one tribe that cleave to you, only because of what David did. Right? Go ahead.
14. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom.
No, we're not going to read all that. Matter of fact, we're going to skip to chapter 12. Solomon's son started to reign. And this is the point when the kingdom was about to be divided. Right, verse 1. But it's a very important thing in here that happened after the kingdom was divided. All right, verse 1, go ahead.
And Rehoboam went into Shechem.
Yes.
Shechem. I don't know how to pronounce that.
That's good.
For all Israel came to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nabat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
Right.
That they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying,
And Rehoboam is Solomon's son, right?
Yep.
So they came to him and they spoke to him, want to talk some sense into him. Let's see what happened.
Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and heavy yoke which he put upon us.
See, Solomon
lighter,
was
and we will serve thee.
Solomon did make the people go back to Egypt, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Made it real oppressive. He said they made our yoke heavy. He said, why don't you lighten it, and then we'll come and we'll serve you, basically to the end, for all our life. Right, go ahead.
And he said unto them, Depart ye for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old man that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people?
All right, so the old people got a reputation, don't they? They should be able to handle wisdom.
Got wisdom.
So he asking them first, and he said, How do you think I should handle this situation? Yes.
And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old man which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him.
That sound typical, don't it?
Your boys, yeah.
Yeah, what you think they're going to tell him?
And which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye, that ye may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt they say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did lad you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, but I'll chastise you with scorpions.
Verse 16. He going in. He forgot about the covenant.
Yeah.
Huh? If you wasn't going to listen to the old man, before you listen to the young man, you should listen to what the Lord wrote, huh? Because the Lord told them to place the law where at? On the side of the king's chair. So you read it every day. It was there. He should have picked it up. Read Deuteronomy 17. But anyway, just from the Lord, because remember he already told Solomon that I'm finna split the nation in your son's day. Go ahead.
So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying.
So all Israel, these are the ones that he said he gonna give. He gonna make it split, and he gonna only allow the house of David to keep one tribe. So these are the 9 of the 10 tribes, however you want to look at it. 10. I guess they didn't count Levi because Levi was spread throughout all Israel. All right, so they took the 10 tribes. Right, go ahead.
What portion have we in David?
So they're like, what inheritance? That's what portion is. Do we have, basically being under David, the house of David, because David was there, right? What portion do we have? What inheritance do we have? All right, go ahead.
Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel.
To your tent, that means to your own lands. All right, to your inheritances. All right, come on.
Now see to thy own house.
Hey, that's what he's telling the house of David. Worry about your own business. Basically, we 2 different nations now. Hey, we ain't brothers no more. It's pretty much what's going on. Because after this, they was about to fight and everything. The Lord had to calm it down. So it's enmity between the whole. This is important for you to know. You know why? Because Yeshua got a title. He's like the prince of what you call that stuff? What you do like with 2 fingers? Peace. Huh? I'm just saying. Peace of what? What did you make a peace? Peace between the 2 houses. Not only peace between the Lord and man by being atonement, but peace between the two houses. The ministry of what you call that stuff? Reconciliation. Yeah. These ain't vain titles. Ain't miserable. It sound good. I'm gonna write you this. Right? No, these things have a meaning, right? Where you at? Come on. A little bit more.
See to thy own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents.
Yes.
But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. And the king Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones.
Yeah, get out of
here.
He
died.
Yeah.
Therefore the king Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem.
Where you at?
19.
Okay.
So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day.
You see that? They rebelled, right? He set them up for failure. As soon as they got let's drop down to Jeroboam started to reign. This is what he did, verse 25.
Then Jeroboam built Shechem.
Because in verse 24 they was about to fight, and the Lord was like, you should not fight against your brother. Basically, this is from me. So you can see the hatred, and the hatred continued, throughout the scriptures, right? But look, Jeroboam built what? Shechem?
In Mount Ephraim.
Yes.
And dwelt therein.
No problem. Go ahead.
And went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
Look, God already gave this to him, though. Well, when an evil man get in power, once you start thinking evil, it's hard to stop, huh? Even when something good happens, you still latch on to. You watch what he do. Go ahead.
If this people go up to do the sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, the king of Judah.
What's wrong with that? I thought that's how we stay in the land.
He likes a little power, yeah.
But you remember, you're going to have a king like the nations. You don't need to serve the Lord. You need to serve this hero. Right? I'm king. Right? You need to serve me.
Yeah.
So you know what? I got a plan. I know how to fix this. Go ahead.
And they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah.
Can't have that. Nope.
Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold.
Look at this.
And said unto them.
I wonder where you got that from. You think that's foreign to them? He got a good example. This is what they did in Egypt, and when they came out of Egypt.
Yeah.
And you heard what the people said. He said, he's the God. Let's see if he echo. Come on.
It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem.
But what did God put in play in case that happened? He said, sell. If it's too much, the Lord told him, sell it and go on up and buy once you get there. But Jeroboam, like, listen, I can fix all this. It's too hard for you to go up to Jerusalem. It's a long way.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. Go ahead.
Behold, thy gods, O Israel.
He made them 2 golden calves
out of the land of Egypt.
He made them 2 golden calves, and he said, behold, thy gods that brought you up out of this one just as good. This is what brought you up out of the land of Egypt. And
he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
Bro, who else said something in Bethel? Y'all remember?
The house.
Who put something in Bethel first? Abraham.
Yeah.
House of God. He gonna come and do a replay, but he gonna do it with a false god, a golden calf. He's setting the people up for something they never recovered from. That's why we're going here. From this point on, Israel, the North, they never recovered.
Nope.
From this point on, they never served God. They never served God. The people couldn't recover from this. This is why he didn't want to give them a king. This is the type you're gonna have. He's gonna be like a soul hunter, like Nimrod. Nimrod was a king of the nations. Oh, so Nimrod didn't build treasure cities off other people's back. This is the same king throughout the scriptures. Look at this. So he set one up, so throughout that inherited land, all them tribes got that inheritance. They had idols. He said from Dan to Bethel. Or does he say Dan?
Bethel.
Yeah, so all throughout. Go ahead.
And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
Yes.
And he made a house of high places.
Look at that. He even made it a temple.
Shrines, yeah.
Yeah. Remember, the Lord ain't never want. What the Lord tells Solomon about temples? Even before Solomon built the temple. What did he tell Solomon? The Lord ain't never asked you that, not in no tribes, at no time, since I came out of Egypt, that I say anything in any tribe about building me a tower. And here we come. We just like the nations at this point. We're bringing that devil worship here. How the people gonna fight the king? All he gotta do is say the word and have any one of them killed. That's a tough pill, right? So what did he do? Go ahead.
And made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi.
So they had the 10 tribes, and this is how they're gonna get to 9. Because the Levites gonna leave. What's the point? We can't even do our job. We definitely not finna go and be a priest to a golden calf. We out of here. But look, he made priests of the lowest people. He just violating the covenant every which way he can, isn't he? The covenant don't stand a chance with this dude. So look, he made priests of the lowest, not the sons of Levi. Yes.
And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah.
Look at that. What's important about this feast? Before we done Jerusalem, what else though? What's that feast? He getting specific. Tabernacle. What that mean? I need all the people to come back. All the people to come back. So he made a feast similar to that. All y'all come up here. Tabernacling for the devil. But go ahead.
And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel sacrifice it unto the calves that he had made.
They got all of the tribes witnessing this. This is what they do every year. On the 8th month, on the 15th day. Son, what are happening? Let's say 200 years go by. What's gonna happen?
It's the normal.
Man, I forgot about what's the tabernacles?
Yeah.
Feast of what? Nah, we don't do tabernacles. We do golden calf god worship. Look, this is important. It was a conversation piggybacked off this. Our fathers worship in Samaria. And you say,
I tell you.
Where do you think that conversation came from? Yep. You don't know what you worshiping.
Yep.
This scripture means something. If people stick to the covenant, we can see, we can get vision. But once we start to violating, the vision becomes man's vision. Look at this. I'm finna quit. I know we're going to have to stop, but we're going to keep going a little bit longer. Give me 30. Go ahead. 30 minutes. That's minutes, not scripture. Go ahead.
So did he in Bethel sacrificing the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priest of the high places which he had made.
So you think they'll listen to the Lord if he start to try to, talk to the people? So hypothetically speaking, how would the Lord talk to the people? He used some prophets. The prophet's gonna be his mouthpiece, huh? But what do you need the prophets for? We got priests. Now the prophet is gonna turn warning against priests, kings, people, everything. Cause they're gonna say, "What thus say the Lord," and guess what? They ain't gonna be able to say nothing, no different. Prophet come to tell you, I told you, no matter how much you pay me, give me, do for, I only can say what thus saith the Lord. And that's why when you read the prophets, what do they say? A lot of times you see it open up with, thus saith the Lord. And he said and Jeremiah, he said he sent them prophets to the people, rising up early, but they still didn't hear. It's hard to recover from this blow. This is why he didn't want to give them a king to begin with. Power can corrupt. So this blow right here was fatal. Go ahead.
33.
Yes.
So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel, the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised in his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
You see that? Sacrifice to idols. All right, so now we at the point, we round 900 to 800 BC. We finna get ready to get into some prophets. But it's a need for them, for the prophets. All right, we got Samuel, and they kept going on. We got the book of Samuel. Samuel was the first one. But how do we know who after Samuel? How do we know what major or what minor prophet is after Samuel? So they did serve their generation. So how you know is by the historical events that happened in Israel and the warnings the people was receiving surrounding those historical events. Because, for instance, at this point, why don't we see Isaiah? Isaiah wasn't born yet, was he? Why? Most High, you the one control birth. Ain't no need for him. Yeah, well, it wasn't until now. So we see these events starting to take place, and they starting to form the culture of Israel, right? These people in the northern tribes building a very idolatrous culture. We need to hear from God. Is he cool with this? So we had approximately on the timeline 900 to 800 BC. All right, we have a major event take place. 722 BC, 100 or some years later. Mark that on your timeline. 722 BC. Israel taken down by the Assyrians.
Yep.
For what? For idolatry. So like this idolatry that this dude set up. Because guess what happened? When he died out, his sons continued this idolatry. They continued it. Let's go to Isaiah 10. So now each we have two kingdoms, is that right?
Yep, north and south.
North and south. Each kingdom had to have their own prophet. Why can't they share as much?
Separate.
They're separate nations now, separate kingdoms.
Divorced.
Yeah, he divorced them. But that's what we're finna get into. Now, we got a problem. I jumped right into the 10th chapter. I should have hit chapter 1 of Isaiah.
Isaiah 1?
Yeah, let's go back briefly to 1. I don't want all. I just want a few. Somebody, I said I was going to ask for participation, right? With the prophets. Somebody tell me when Isaiah lived. Give me a time frame. We don't have to be like spot on. But we need to see if the events match up. If the historical events match up to what he was saying. Huh?
7 something?
What's wrong with this? Y'all use this on everything. They want to really get it. They want to guesstimate for real. Let's get an educated guess, at least a little bit. Well, I'll figure you another way.
40 BC?
Oh, he read it. Or he read it. He read it in his book. Tell him read it to him what you was reading, Brother Rod. Because, some Bibles had in the introduction, right? They had a little historical accounts like this one, and they tell you like he got to show them your book. Yeah, just a little intro where they,
Isaiah's long
it's history. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Isaiah's long life spanned the rule of several kings.
You see that? He lived a long time.
Born during the reign of Uzziah, Isaiah was called to his prophetic ministry in the year of King's death, 740 BC.
You see that? That's when they first started to prophesy, right? 740 BC. 740 BC. So, the kingdom got split, around 800 and some BC. So it's been split about 100 and some years. All right, so now, he said he started to prophesy in the day of who? Uzziah, right? So how could we see if some other prophets was alive during this time? Well, what could you use for a reference? What could we use? The king, right?
Yeah.
King. So let's see. Do we got anybody else that lived in the days of Uzziah? The reason why we need to make this parallel, because what will be a reason?
He was followed by
Because they talked about the same thing. They prophesied about the same things.
Uzziah was succeeded by Jotham.
Yes.
Was followed by Ahaz.
Right. Those are the kings. All right. So now we got Isaiah. Anybody else lived in the time of Isaiah? Hosea. What does Hosea say? How do we know? Let's look at Hosea. We coming back to Isaiah 10. Let's see if it say something. Because typically, the prophets open up their book with a reference to the time that they lived, right? Or who was reigning during that time. So she said Hosea, verse 1.
Hosea, sorry. I thought I was reading that.
Oh, you got something too? Go ahead.
Well, Hosea dates his prophecy in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, and Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Okay, so
and
that's
in the
it.
days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel.
So
Hosea's ministry extended from 770 to 725 BC.
So that's in that time too, right?
Yep.
Those only two. We got more. What? You got Micah. Let's see Micah.
Maybe.
So that first verse will let you know the word of the Lord that came unto Hosea the son of Beri in the days of Uzziah, just like it said in Isaiah, right? The first chapter, first verse will let you know most of the time what kings were alive during the time that they prophesied. Because they had to go talk to the king. That's why I didn't want to give you a king. All right, is that Micah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What you got, right?
Micah dates his prophecy according to the southern kings, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah. These kings of Judah reigned from about 752 to 697 BC.
Right. So he a little bit behind Uzziah, but Jotham was after Uzziah, king-wise. So he's still in that range.
752 to 697 BC.
Okay, it's through 697. Okay, yeah. So that's who? Micah?
Yes, sir.
So we got Isaiah, Hosea, Micah. Is it Amos? Let's look and see. Amos. This finna break down some doctrine though. Because they talk about the end in some of these places. You there, right? What you got?
Historical setting. Amos provides the historical key for his ministry. The days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, 2 years before the earthquake. It must be the days of Uzziah. Uzziah's independent reign took place in 767 to 740 BC.
That's what mine say. Yep.
In the sole reign of Jeroboam, the second in about 782 to 753 BC. Amos was a contemporary of Hosea, Isaiah, and Jonah.
Oh, so they gave us one freebie, huh? They gave us one. They put Jonah on there too. So yeah, we got Amos. They really did the work because they ain't named no more of them, did they? And Jonah. So at this time, so they had a chance to be warned by these prophets, Israel, right? Let's look at Jonah right quick before.
Amos and Hosea were co-workers.
You see that? What it say? They didn't hear you.
It says Amos. Sorry, not to interrupt. Amos and Hosea were co-workers, and may even have gone up on preaching tours through the land together. Although Hosea continued his work after Amos passed from the scene, Isaiah and Micah followed Amos' ministry.
See that? So what that mean? They got different ministries? They talking about the same stuff, right? History solved a mystery. Let me ask y'all, why wasn't these dudes born in the days of The Lord had other prophets to prophesy about that point or that issue. But your focus is what's going on right here. That's the truth. Where we at, Jonah?
Oh, you want to go to Jonah?
Yeah, let's look at Jonah. He said mention Jonah. But it's important because this will put the people in a setting to where we don't be all over the place, right? To and fro and back and forth with what they were speaking about. Yeah. Don't you know most people can't do this? This is why they be back and forth, up and down, side to side. They think that most people come through and think Daniel and Isaiah is talking about the same stuff. Somewhat, but not for the most part. Daniel is going through when Nebuchadnezzar came. Isaiah spoke on it briefly as a prophetic event. You go ahead, Jonah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The historical setting. Jonah clearly prophesied at a very early date. 2 Kings 14 and 25 indicates that Jonah gave a prophecy that was fulfilled during the reign of Jeroboam, who reigned from 793 to 752 BC. The prophecy was given when Assyria was becoming a great world power and intimate threat to Israel.
So that's why he spoke about what city was real famous in Jonah's prophecy? Nineveh, right? That's the Assyrians. Oh, it's starting to make a little bit of sense, isn't it? So let go. Isaiah 10. That's good enough on that. Yeah, Isaiah 10. So we still walking that history down. Timeline. If you draw the timeline, that'd make it much easier. And you can see it. So this event is taking place between 723, 722 BC. Right, 100 and some years after the kingdom has been split. 100 and some years after they just indulging in all kind of idolatry. Basically put the Lord on the back burner. You know, they ain't going up to Jerusalem to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. You know how I know?
1 Kings 2.
When they came back from Babylonian captivity, the prophet said, man, they ain't kept the Feast of Tabernacles like this since the days of Solomon. That's right. Yeah. And his point was, when he said, the way everybody missed, his point was that this is in the days of Ezra and Nehemiah, that all Israel was there keeping the tabernacles. How do we know? He gave the days of Solomon as a reference. So you go and look in the days of Solomon when he dedicated the temple, that was the time of the tabernacles. All the tribes are there. All the tribes are there. That's important. I'm gonna quit saying that. But that's important. Because all the tribes had to be in the land when Christ came. They had to be in the land. So that means some of them did come back, even when the Jews came back during that Babylonian period. We'll get to it. Maybe not in this lesson, but I'll show you. Isaiah 10, verse 1. We'll stop here after this point. I don't want to lose nobody. Verse 1. Go ahead, Brother Rob.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievous, which they have prescribed. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people.
So this is what the prophet does. He warning them. You think he just made this up, talking about my people and this and that? No, he got this from the Most High. All right, whoa, he announcing warning. All right, judgment coming to follow, yes?
That widows may be their prayer, their prey.
But now he's telling you why the judgment got to come.
And that they may rob the fatherless.
Look, because what did the covenant tell you? Look out for the fatherless and the widow and the stranger. Because this is what I, the Most High, do.
Right.
Yeah, but now y'all done got in the land, you robbing the widows and not looking out for the fatherless and mistreating strangers. Why don't want to give that king like that? All right, go ahead.
And what will ye do in the days of visitation?
What is that?
And in the desolation.
Now I'm asking, what's the days of visitation?
Christ. The end.
So this is, but it's situational. It's in every situation, right? And it's the end. It's because it's the day when the Lord visits you for your doing.
Right.
And when He visits you for your doing, He gonna pass judgment.
Correct.
Right? And He gonna use foreign entities or beasts to take you out of the land. He said, what you gonna do? Basically, how you gonna stand or how you gonna make it? Come on.
And in the desolations which shall come from far.
Yes, meaning what that mean? Reason why I keep asking that because we need to understand. I know, we do mostly, but a lot of people that's watching might, so it take a little bit longer. So what that means is people from afar that's not in your nation gonna come and they're gonna take the nation down. And most of the time it's gonna be the world power. At this point in time, it's the world power is who? Assyria, yes.
To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
His hand stretched out on his own people, right?
Verse 5 right here.
Yes, go 5.
O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation.
You see that? The Lord showing his anger by bringing the Assyrians upon them. Yes.
I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to thread them down like the mire of the streets.
And they know the Lord ain't playing. He does this a lot. Even how he freed them out of Egypt. Yep. But in Egypt, the key was he fought for them. But now he's sending these other nations to fight. Now he's gonna put the Assyrians upon Israel. Yes.
Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so. But it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few.
That mean a lot. I mean, Assyria's gonna cut off a lot of nations. Gonna become a superpower pretty much. Yes.
What he said, are not my princes altogether kings? Is not Calno as Kirgamesh? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand has found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose graven image did excel them of Jerusalem and of Samaria? Shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols? Wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria, and the glory of his high hooks.
Yes.
Continue?
Yeah, give me a little bit more.
For he said, but by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures.
Yes.
And have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man.
So the Lord, basically, long story long, right? The Lord is using Assyria to take down Israel, right, out of their land. But once what he's saying is once I finish punishing you by Assyria, and I deal with Jerusalem, he said I'm gonna deal with the king of Assyria too.
That's part of it.
All right, where you at?
That was 13,
okay.
Yeah, 13.
Okay, verse 15, because that's where he started to say it. Go ahead.
Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up.
So the Lord basically letting them know that I'm in control, even though the Assyrians are doing this. Remember in Isaiah 46 when he talked about his purpose coming to pass and nobody being able to stop it? Like, this is one of those instances. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Or as if the staff should lift up itself as if it were no wood.
Right, like he doing it on his own, like I'm not allowing this to happen. So the Lord is like, long story short, I'm gonna punish them too. But let's actually, so once he take Israel out by the hand of the Assyrians, watch what he said, verse 20.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them.
Listen closely to what he's saying. Who smote them? Assyria. And he says it's going to come to pass that, what he's saying? How many?
Remnant?
It's only a remnant. Going to come back. Not a lot. A lot ain't gonna. It's the rest of them going to stay up on the hand who smote them. But it's going to happen that a remnant is going to come back. Yes.
But shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
Look, that's what's going to bring them back. So everybody ain't going to come back. A remnant going to come back. And the remnant is really going to be seeking the Lord. The ones who don't come back, we good with these idols. I'm good in Nineveh. It's comfortable over here in the land of Assyria. It's really kind of like home. What I need to go back there for? We done built a life. Y'all go back with the God of Israel. Y'all go on and go back. Let us know how it work out. Go ahead.
21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob.
Look at this. Okay, question. Okay. This is one of them scriptures. If you had a context with the time, what's this scripture gonna mean to you? Yeah. Say, man, at 3,000, we ain't got that much longer. We're going back to the land.
Says Jacob.
The Lord, but the Bible say, Isaiah's already told you, remnant shall return. Yeah, from Assyria. Out of the ones of the hand that smote them.
And Pathros.
Yeah.
And this.
Oh. I hear you. Boy, look how direct it is. Who smote them? Seriously. That's where they're going to come from.
Yeah.
And the only reason they coming back because they seeking me. But I thought Yeshua said the end of Jerusalem was when that temple fell. What that mean? They got to come back before it fall. Got to come back before the end. At some point before the end, this got to take place. They got to come back. Why? Isaiah done told her. Now, you got at least 700 years from Isaiah to that temple fell in Jerusalem. So why wouldn't a scripture like this be, why wouldn't he talk like this during the scriptures? At some point in time in the future, it's going to happen. A remnant is going to come back. Yeah, you got 700 years to fulfill this. Makes sense. Not 7,000 years. Man, this stuff happening in 7,000. How we going to believe this? It might happen one day. That's the attitude. That's the attitude of people for real. That's why they say any day now. Any day is on a level with never. I'm just saying. Huh? What's the difference? Because when you get to any day and it don't happen, it's going to be any day now. Let's just translate never. Never. Already happened. I'll tell you this story, and I'm going to get off this. But the point is, when something already take place and you steady looking for it to come to fruition, no matter how hard you look, it's never going to happen. Or it could always happen any day. So my story is, it happened to me. I think it was about last year, maybe 2 years ago. I'm looking for my taxes to come in the mail. Huh? Yes. Right. Now I'm looking for an insurance check of my tax, one or the other. Right. And I got a check in the mail, and I spent it. And I'm still looking for the other check to come in the mail. The tax. I'm still looking for them to come in the mail, but they already came. But every day I'm going out there, I'm looking. I'm like, man, it's taking a long time. Like, it do not take this long to get taxes back. I told her some months went by, I'm looking, you know. So finally I called. Hey, what they do with my taxes? Like, give me a minute. Call me back. Bank say you spent it. No. I did not spend. I did not spread call the bank to see if I. The check number is this, and that. That's what the profits are. This, and that. Call them. Oh yeah, you deposit that on this day, this spend. Oh man, I've been looking for them till next year. I've been 30 years down the line, still looking. And never guess when it was gonna happen. Never. It already came to pass. That's how the people do us in the scriptures. Right? So no matter how hard I was looking, that thing was never gonna come no more. It already came. That destroys your hope though. And that's how the scriptures are. People having a false hope. God already let us know took place. Just keep waiting. Man, I'm waiting on Isaiah. Where we at? Isaiah, what is that?
Is that hope deferred? Something?
Isaiah 10 and verse 20. That's what I'm waiting on. When is it going to happen? Any day now. Translated, I'm the prophet. Translated, never. It can't. Double fulfillment. How? It's too many things out of order. I'm sorry, y'all. This stuff bothers me. Because you know why it bothers me? Because I feel like, how did I ever fall for the okie doke? I should have knew better than this. I didn't search hard enough. I didn't go behind. And when I got real with myself, I know I ain't go behind my teachers. Because I'm coming out of Christianity, it sounds good. Gotta be the truth. But when you accept something without going behind and checking it, the truth always sounds like a lie and vice versa. But the Bible don't teach you that. The Bible teach you to prove all things, hold fast to that which is good, and get rid of the rest. All right, we're going to finish this, and then we're going to get 2 Kings to back up what he's saying right here, and then we'll shut it down for the day. Where you at, Brother Rod? Verse 20 or 21? Which one did you get to?
22.
Okay, start back at 21.
The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God.
Mm-hmm.
For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea.
Ain't that what he told Abraham?
Mm-hmm.
So it's true.
Mm-hmm.
So though your people, as a whole, be like the sands of the sea,
yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness.
You see that? So listen, this is why Yeshua, when he come, he can go through those lands and he can say, I'm not sent. But they in Assyria. Huh? They in all these, how they get back? Oh, it's getting interesting, ain't it? Mm-hmm. 2 Kings 17.
2 Kings, you said?
Yes, sir. 2 Kings 17. Verse 6. Go ahead.
And in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Hala and in harbor by rivers of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Mm-hmm. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had fear other gods.
Look at this. What verse did you stop at?
Verse
7. It says, when did he take them out? The 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria. He took Samaria, right? Mm-hmm. And Israel away into Assyria. And placed them where at?
In Hala. Mm-hmm. And in the harbor, and in harbor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. Mm.
So those are the places where the Lord is going to pick them up from, huh? So it is just like that scripture y'all was quoting. Who said that scripture that y'all was quoting, by the way? Isaiah? Isaiah said that in 11th chapter, like verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. Oh, man, say this. I'm finna, you know what? Verse 18, Brother Rod, no, on 2 King, yeah, we finna
All right.
we finna take a pause for the call. It's getting to be a bit much. Yes.
18.
Yes.
Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel. And
Yeah, they
removed
duped us. I feel duped. Huh? When you start to understand the time is everything. But, you know, when we came up in, it make it seem like the time is minute. Like it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. Because the time is going to be able to tell who's going to be a false prophet and who understand the truth. Right? How you going to be a teacher of the Lord and you can't understand the time? How is that going to happen? Because the Bible says, you know, they'll be taught of the Lord. So the Lord done taught you everything except the time. Yeah, that make a lot of sense. Huh? Does it?
No comment.
I'm just saying, because this is the stuff we done went for. I mean, myself, this is why I'm saying it. I fell for it. And I can step on my own toes so many times, you know. So come on, Brother Rob. Get me out the mic.
Right. I'll start at 18. Therefore, the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made.
So it ain't fair for him to lead Judah in the land, is it?
No, they got the same punishment.
Is that? And they said they did worse in other places.
They're worse than his sister.
So why he didn't take them out at the same time? And don't worry about the Lord time. He gonna take them out. Or it's just gonna be when he get ready. He gotta raise up prophets to them. To let them know. Isaiah and them talking to Israel. Hosea. Right? But go ahead. Micah, yeah. So you talking Micah gonna be talking about the same thing too? We need to go back. We need to go back for real. And find out what the Lord is saying. Go ahead, Brother Rob.
And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat, king of Jeroboam, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord. So that made them sin a great sin.
Remember, that was the beginning of the end. Remember, we showed that they never recovered from when he set up them golden idols and then to Bethel and told them these the gods that brought you out of Egypt. He said he drove Israel. He forced them. You know, he basically taught them in the ways of sin. Brought them up in the way of sin. He drove the people from serving the Lord. And this was the ultimate punishment, to be cast out of your inheritance. The kingdom of God, the promised land, the milk and honey, to be cast out. What verses did you just read? 20?
That was 21, 22.
Right, okay, yeah.
For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, and they departed not from them.
See, they never was able to recover. He did them a fatal blow from the jump. All right, they never was recover. Go ahead.
Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets.
How did he say it?
By his servants, the prophets.
Like Isaiah. Like Hosea.
Yep.
Like Amos. Jonah. Also, the prophets did serve their generation. So this is because this is what the Lord used as a mouthpiece. A man. Go tell them what I said. Maybe they'll change before I visit them. Now, did the Lord visit them or no?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Assyria did.
That's him. Punishing them.
He used Assyria to visit them, didn't he? So is that gonna change?
Same playbook.
Same playbook. Because we got 3 pivotal times when that happened. Same play. The Lord is the same and he don't change. If we could just learn how he move and operate, we can understand what he's doing. Go ahead, Brother Rob.
So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
You see that? They out. Until the time that this is written. What else? Look what happened. He did a switcheroo. Come on.
24.
Mm-hmm.
And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Kutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
Right. And now they was there, but it was some Israelites there too.
Yeah, there was a little bit of them.
This is how we know that the woman at the well was from Israel. Because the Lord said, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep. And that's where he went.
The remnant.
Yeah, to the remnant. She said, our fathers. She said, Jacob, our father.
Procedure of prophet.
If he would have went somewhere else first, they would have broke protocol. But people will have you think that she was from one of these nations. That's why the covenant is important. But go ahead, Brother Rob.
Of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them and slew some of them.
That's good. We'll hold it down right there. This once again, this is the chronological timeline of Israel's history. We've come from Abraham. We've shown the end first and made our way backwards. So we started at Abraham, and now we're approximately halfway. So we've covered approximately 700 and some years. So next time we can pick it up right here, and then we can deal with Judah going forward. All right, so I hope we got something out of the lesson. Once again, that title is A Chronological Timeline of Israel's History. Why? Because history solves the mystery, right? There's no truer saying. History solves the mystery. So we know the history, we can pick up on, we can understand the Bible better. All right, so I hope we got something out of the lesson in Yeshua's name. I thank you for your time. Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Had to be under 2 hours.